Grover Cleveland served as the 22nd President of the United States. His first of two, non-consecutive presidential terms took place from 1885 to 1889. President Cleveland pursued a pro-business approach to governance and worked to reduce tariffs and promote economic growth. He also vetoed a bill that would have provided funding for the construction of a new naval fleet, arguing that it was too costly and unnecessary. In 1889, President Cleveland sent a naval force to Samoa to protect American interests. Samoa was divided into two rival factions, the Kingdom of Samoa and the United States-controlled Tutuila. In 1889, the two factions were involved in a civil war and were seeking the support of foreign powers. The United States Navy was sent to prevent foreign intervention and prevent further violence in the region by maintaining order. The deployment of the naval force was controversial and was opposed by those who argued that it was not in the United States' best interests to become involved in the conflict. However, President Cleveland disagreed because he thought that it was important for America to have representation in that region of the world. The naval force remained in Samoa until 1891, when the conflict was resolved and the two factions agreed to a peace treaty. President Cleveland signed the Dawes Act, also known as the General Allotment Act of 1887, which granted Native Americans U.S. citizenship and aimed to assimilate them into mainstream American society by promoting American values. It did so by breaking up their communal lands and distributing them to individual Native Americans in the form of allotments. In retrospect, the Dawes Act is seen as a mistake and is remembered as an example of how the federal government undermined Native American cultural and political autonomy with the goal of assimilation. President Cleveland took steps to combat political corruption and to promote honesty and integrity in the government. He was against giving special favors to any economic groups. When members of Congress tried to pass a bill to provide pensions to certain Civil War veterans, aka supporters, Cleveland vetoed it on the ground that it was unwise, unnecessary, and fraught with danger to the future integrity of the civil service. President Cleveland ordered an investigation of railroad companies that laid claim to Western lands given by government grants. 81 million acres of land was returned to the federal government. Cleveland then signed the Interstate Commerce Act, which was a federal attempt at regulating the railroads. Grover Cleveland married Frances Folsom while he was serving as president in 1886, making him the only president to get married at the White House. In 1888, while running for re-election, Grover Cleveland won the popular vote but lost the Electoral College against Benjamin Harrison.